Welcome to Geeks Corner. I'm Mr. DAPS.
I'm Katie.
The neck bone's connected to the neck bone. Neck bone's connected to the neck bone. The neck bone's connected to the neck bone. The neck bone's connected to the neck bone. 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 There are 7 cervical vertebrae.
I figured that's where you're going with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that. There's too many bones. I don't like the word spine. That's my fun fact. I hate the word spine. I shouldn't have put that on the internet.
You
But
really shouldn't have.
no, I really hate the word spine.
Anyway, Cameron,
So
keep going.
much.
And I'm Cameron.
Thank you.
Welcome to Geeks Corner. You should probably use the hashtag Geeks Corner to talk at us on the Twitter. And, yeah, we're going to talk about stuff and
While
things.
you're using the hashtag Geeks Corner, you should use it to wish Bailey a very happy birthday this week.
Yeah!
Happy birthday, Bailey.
Yay, Bailey!
And with that, we're going to talk about what we would love to get for our birthdays, and that's Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. Right?
Happy
Yeah.
birthday.
Oh, if Florida's
All right.
opens anywhere near my birthday, I'm not going to shut up about it. But
Are you going to shut up
I was
about
going to
it
say,
otherwise?
that's
or-
going to
No.
happen either way, so doesn't matter. So this last week, there were a lot of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge announcements that came out of Disneyland. First off, there was a cast member preview night for the costumes where different cast member costumes were revealed. Let's talk about that first, even though that's not what we have in the order. That was happening basically right after Geeks Corner last Tuesday night. In
Yes.
fact, that's why Luke was ditching us, because he was like, you guys are cool, but Star Wars.
it is
And
cooler.
it's true.
It's true.
But first off, what was your favorite costume that came out of the event last? And then we'll get into Resistance and First Order costumes from different places.
First order.
Okay.
It just looks so sharp. Like, So, like, obviously the First Order exists somewhere in the galaxy.
Far, far away from
Yeah, but it's just one of those things where you realize you're going
Thank you,
to
Quasi.
see First Order in front of you, and it's just everything you would expect, and yes, it's all gray, but it just looks so First Order, and it's so exciting.
I would have a difficult time wearing a First Order uniform and not singing March of the First Order under my breath. Dun, 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 dun. Like just as you're walking everywhere.
What'd you say? No.
That or goose stepping. The point is, though, the giant Frisbee hats are amazing, and I want one
Yeah, that's
so
fair.
bad.
That's fair.
Points to the guy that modeled that, because he was like one of the coolest looking
Oh, yeah.
guys
Yeah.
in
He's
all
on
of
it.
the things I saw. Like,
Fashion's a 90% attitude.
and it totally, that event showed how true that is, because they all looked really awesome. So what do you guys think? We saw the Smugglers Run outfits,
They look like air traffic controllers in space.
which is kind of what they are, because they work at a spaceport, it looks like.
Yeah, it's just like the color palette threw me off because everything else is kind of like muted earth tones, and then you get this bright blue of Smugglers Run.
Because you don't want to get hit by a spaceship.
You don't want to get hit by a spaceship, which totally makes sense in storytelling. But when I saw it first, I was like, "What is happening?" But it makes sense.
And it looks really
And that's where
comfortable.
you,
It
why you wear
does.
blue, the color of the sky.
Not in space.
Well, no, they're on Batu.
They're the stars. They're not.
In their multitudes.
Yeah, stars aren't blue.
No, but
And honestly, those vest things look super comfortable.
Oh,
for
they
a
do.
nap. Like, they
Ooh.
would make great pillows.
Yeah.
I mean, you're in the woods, so you might as well take a nap when you got your...
True.
Yeah. Any of the other costumes that jumped out to you as you were looking at them?
I'm glad they all get to successorize. I think that's really neat. I cannot imagine the logistical nightmare in costuming that is going to be, but kudos to them for making that work.
I think the mixing and the matching that's going to happen in the village is going to be the coolest thing because it's going to make the story real.
Oh, yeah.
The fact that not every person you see in the village is going to be wearing the exact same thing might make it confusing, but it's real. It's there. Everyone's in the village, and they will have similar identifying pieces of costume, but they're not, and it's just real.
Spaceport, but make it fashion.
So there's lots more that came out. There was a group of national media that got to go on a 3-day tour. Started up north at Lucasfilm, then they went to Glendale and Imagineering, and then they came down to Disneyland and got to go into Galaxy's Edge. and they got to taste food that's going to be in Galaxy's Edge. They got to experience what it's going to be like, even though it's in progress right now. They got some attraction previews. They got some animatronic previews. Let's start with food, though, because that's the most important thing.
Always.
There's going to be a lot of food there, and my first thing as I was reading about it and looking at pictures is, does it remind anybody else a little bit of Pandora?
Oh, absolutely.
Which I think is cool, because I love the food in Pandora, and I actually think this is quickly going to become some of the best places to eat in the resort, looking at what they're putting forth. What, anybody else have thoughts?
I think I like that they're kind of taking an artisanal / theme heavy route with it. I've never eaten the Pandora food, but from what I have seen,
Hamburgers.
But it's done in such a way that makes it not feel out of place in the universe. And I, as with all things in Star Wars, it really seems they're focusing on that. Even some of the descriptions they were using for them, it seemed really good. Also, I'm definitely going to try the blue milk smoothie.
I was going to get to that next.
My favorite thing ever is that there's going to be a place where you can eat meat that is cooking off of a pod racing engine.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Now that's pod racing.
Multiple types of meat.
Yeah, some
I'm
unspecified.
Thrilled.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
I think
thrilled.
that's going to be
We're
hilarious.
going to eat Bantha.
I really think it's cool, though, because it's not too weird, but it's still part of the storytelling element that you could believe it. It's not like if you were to go into the Star Trek realm and take you to the Klingon homeworld and eat Gok.
Gah!
No.
That would be a struggle, I think, for a lot of people.
It's best served live. That's the problem. Is that where do you get live fresh
just
Gok?
saw that episode.
What is the one where Riker does
Riker,
the?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that one.
You know.
I do know, unfortunately.
But I think that would be a little bit too much of a stretch, and this is food that's familiar, but they're presenting it in a way that looks like, oh yeah, that could be from space,
like Pandora.
Yeah, and that's actually where that reference really came through. But the exciting part for me is the food tastes so good in Pandora that I really think that's something that we're gonna be stoked about a year from today.
Oh yeah,
is like the different quality foods that aren't just a hamburger or whatever that you can get anywhere else, and like unique quality food that's
something that makes it worth paying the Star Wars tax on.
Right. Well, and just I think that's themed food is such an anomaly. Like, you can't go down the street and get Star Wars food, hopefully, and so I just think that's going to make that so much more magical. You also talked a little bit about the shops a minute ago. And you're going to be able to build your own droid, and said droid will be able to interact with other droids.
You can build a DJ Rex. That's all that matters.
And it sounds like you're going to carry your droid around in a backpack or something. Because they're not encouraging you to drive them around Galaxy's Edge, from what I was reading and hearing.
It's like those
I want a
backpacks.
papoose. I want a papoose.
A front pack?
Yeah.
Okay. So that you're gonna be able to build. There's an experience for lightsaber, 14 people at a time.
Ollivander's lightsaber school. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. But 14 people.
That.
Anybody else think 14 people at a time?
That's a low number, man.
Like, I hope they have a fast pass system or something for that you get a text or something that you can go back and, or maybe use the app.
I hope that a Kyber crystal just like embeds itself in my soul. At that point.
That's a little frightening. But...
Like, and then I'm a lightsaber.
I hope it's an Infinity Stone.
No,
Yeah.
no, the real lightsabers were the friends we made along the way.
Always.
Yeah.
Well, I think the funniest thing, because you did compare it to Ollivander's, and Ollivander's there's a big show, and one person gets to have the wand choosing experience. I just think it'd be so funny if 14 people get in there. It's like, oh, only one of you gets to make
All right,
a
everybody
lightsaber.
put your finger out. We're going to prick it and do a midichlorian check. We're going to find out.
But that's the interesting thing about
Is that we have to have midichlorians?
Is colors of the Kyber crystals are influenced by how the Force moves through you. And is that an accurate...
I just think it'd be really funny if it's like, oh, you're giving me blue, and it's like, a kid's like, I want purple! Like,
or worse, you just spent however much this is, 100, 200 more, and you get there, and for whatever reason, you end up with the red one when you thought you were a good, I don't know.
Well, the lightsaber chooses the Jedi, so...
Basically, that's...
I just want to be Mace Windu.
If you really want to learn more about that,
Purple
by the
saber?
way, watch the Clone Wars, because they really went into... It was Clone Wars, right, Tyler?
I haven't watched them.
Oh, shame on you. I think it's Clone Wars where they really went into the beginning of that, and then they continued it with Rebels. But those two cartoons really did a great job of explaining kyber crystals and what goes on behind the creation of lightsabers.
I'm going to do this new segment where I pitch an idea for a thing that we're going to do later. This one is where we're going to make a parody of the Home Shopping Network, specifically for kyber crystals.
Yeah.
All right, and this is a beautiful amethyst kyber crystal. It's very powerful with the force.
After the show, so
No, I'm pitching it now, so I'm not obligated to actually do it.
Okay.
But then we have that broken one, and we're like, please just don't become a Sith Lord.
You know what? 20 payments of $19.95. Let's just get this one right here.
Wow, that's
It's Cupid zirconia crystal is what Sith are made of.
Yeah. Let's look at Twitter real quick. We have an interesting Kermit the Frog thing about when Katie Bear wants to become a lightsaber, with Kermit freaking out.
I am a lightsaber.
Mike says, get ready for wait times or difficult availability at Oga's Cantina. Yeah, that's going to be insane.
Okay, please. I'm scared. Let's not talk about
I think Oga's Cantina is going to be a constant throng.
They...
Unless they outprice people. We could see a lamplight effect.
What is so interesting to me is they have like 9 signature cocktails and like 8 signature non-alcoholic beverages.
Yeah, that's good.
This bar is gonna be insane. Like I was thinking there was going to be 1 or 2 drinks, but the fact that it is such an extensive signature menu for both alcoholic and non-alcoholic, it is leading me to believe it's going to be even crazier.
I have a very good system for not having to worry about the line there. It's really easy. If anyone gets uppity with you in front of you, you just turn him. He doesn't like you. I don't like you either. I am a wanted man. And just keep going until they eventually walk away.
Unless somebody pulls out a lightsaber and cuts off his arm.
They have to pay for the mess.
You know. That's what Han's for.
Han just shoots people.
So there's also going to be other merchandise. Did you guys notice any of the other merchandise, or was it all about lightsabers and
DJ Rex?
And okay,
I want to see
some of it. I didn't understand. I will admit.
That's some of it. I mean, I like that there's this feel that some of the merch is made by the people living.
But
on
some of the
Batuu.
plushes I didn't understand.
Well, my comparison for that is, and somebody can tell me the name of the internet.
Etsy.
The fuzzy. There's these fuzzy things
It kind of reminded
in
me of Etsy.
Wizarding World.
Got it.
That are like pink and purple, and they're a specific type of magical creature that does not exist anywhere else in Harry Potter lore except in the Wizarding World, creating in lore. I'm betting some of that stuff is in lore, in fiction, Batuu stuff.
I think the best part, and it's kind of something unlike anything we've ever seen in the land, is that you can't walk into Batuu and get like a Galaxy's Edge I was there t-shirt or like Star Wars.
And all I got is a stupid
I would not be
t-shirt.
surprised if those kind of shirts show up in Tomorrowland.
Yeah, but it's
yeah.
the things you get in Batuu you can only get in Batuu, and you're not getting the regular tchotchke merchandise. Like, you're getting very specific to the land things, and I think that's something even in Pandora, we've never seen anything like that in merchandising.
Yeah, it'll be cool. It'll be interesting to see. I hope they stick with that, but it'll be interesting to see if that's something that they think works, and that's just going to take time to tell. Yeah, I hope so too.
So I know that Batuu is a very remote outpost, right? So because it's very far away, do you think it was founded by a guy named Tim?
Absolutely.
Tim Batuu.
I'm sad it took you that long to realize that. Honestly.
I'm not very smart, Tyler.
I'm not a smart man, Jenny.
Yeah, Jenny's not here.
That's sad.
He's listening.
Yeah, she is.
Probably true. So they also talked a little bit in the attractions, or in the articles about the attractions. You are going to get to fly the Millennium Falcon. You're going to get to explore it. Apparently, it's absolutely fantastic how they set that up. It's going to be, you're the only person flying the Millennium Falcon that day, and you're going to be recruited by Hondo, who is a character that was in both Clone Wars and Rebels, and he is a fascinating character. Like, he's kind of just this
Space pirate.
He's a space pirate, yeah. And the thing I love is we've seen him in cartoons in 2 different forms of animation now over the last 10 years or so, and maybe 8 years. I don't know how long he's been around, but seeing him come to life in animatronic form and have it look like, oh yeah, that's totally it, was really cool, because I think sometimes when you bring a cartoon.
Detective Pikachu is what you're talking about. And,
Yeah.
Ooh, buddy.
Very that.
And even some of the other Disney attractions through the years, the characters don't always end up looking like the characters you expect them to, especially when you're pulling from a 2D point to real life. This supposedly is one of the most advanced animatronics ever. And I'm forgetting what it's A100.
A100.
Wasn't it developing in sequence with the Navi?
Yeah,
Shaman?
it's like it's almost as good as that Navi Shaman. And it's like number 2, right? I think that's what I read.
Like right there.
Okay.
That's scary.
But anybody who's seen that is the highlight of the river journey, and it's ridiculously cool. And to think you're going to be interacting or being recruited by Hondo, which is really, from a storytelling standpoint, way more effective than the shaman doing his dance thing. Singing, yes.
Singing.
Like, I actually think this could end up being one of the highlights of the whole land, and definitely the attraction. What do you guys think?
Yes, and I think that even though I'm very unfamiliar with that particular character, it was the correct choice of the character.
Show,
Yeah, I
guys.
know, but
so good.
I think it was the best choice because I think the other option would have been making a Captain Jack Sparrow Han Solo, or like
Screen, or using a screen.
or even like they did on Pirates for Captain Jack. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, kind of hiding him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or choosing a hologram thing that, I mean, because if which you guys haven't done, Rise of the Resistance, they communicate a lot of the story through projection things, and character name is slipping me from Rogue One, the guy, the one Jin.
Oh, her dad?
No, the other guy that works for Resistance.
Cassian?
Yes.
Okay.
And so they have a video kind of leading you into the thing. And while that was very effective and a very nice surprise if you do Rise of the Resistance, it's nowhere near as effective as having something physically there. And the further we can get away from the uncanny valley with Hondo, the better. By making him very a not human choice, it'll be a better experience choice.
Agreed. I do know that I'm going to watch the shows. Also, I'm so sorry. I was, during both those, I was looking at Luke and Tyler going, he means the Void. He doesn't mean Rise of the Resistance.
Yep. That.
Oh, you're right.
So, anyway, I do know that I'm going to watch the shows now. Knowing, like, I already knew that Hondo's going to be, but seeing the animatronic, I was like, I want to get it. Like, I want to fully understand the impact. So I need to watch the shows.
Well, and I'm really curious the storytelling that goes with all of this too. Like, how on earth did he end up with the Millennium Falcon? How on Batuu did he end up with the Millennium Falcon?
Sounds weird.
And like, it'll be interesting to see how that is. It's also interesting because it sounds like this is taking place during the current trilogy.
Yes.
And so there's going to be interactions with other characters from this era. And I will be very curious to see how that plays out, and also not spoil anything from what we don't know about episode 9. And that would, I mean, obviously they've thought about this, but people are going to be reading into every word that is said.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Whether it's Kylo Ren or
gonna be
Rey
so fun.
or whoever. And that'll be really interesting as well. Rise of the Resistance, it was implied that it's not the 28 minutes that was going around the internet. They basically, it sounded like, told the press last week, that's not exactly right. They didn't exactly say how long it's going to be, but I think it's going to be a substantial attraction. My hunch is it's going to be around the length of Pirates. And so 18 to 20 minutes is my guess. You want to make guesses, since we know so little about this and we're just shooting in the dark?
Bailey has an update that she tweeted also for you guys to update.
Cool.
Speaking of guessing things.
Oh, okay. So
I
she
like
wants to
guessing.
add to
I'm going to say 22 minutes.
22.
Because I like a good repetitive number.
I'm going to say that I'm going to wait in line several hours for a whole chair, but I'm only going to need the edge.
Of the galaxy?
Yep.
Got it.
Okay.
Understood.
Restaurant at the End of the Universe. It's Douglas Adams.
That was good.
It's part of his 5-part trilogy,
Different.
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Excellent radio series also. Cool. And what is the one thing you're most looking forward to in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge as we wrap up this part of the segment?
Ooh.
Millennium Falcon.
Weeping while walking in. I mean, it's going to be that first skyline thing where you walk in, you're just like, it's real.
Well,
it's all real.
The thing that got me
knew it!
is the way they designed all of the tunnels.
Yeah.
Is that you have this effect of everything narrowing in, and then it's
walking into Main Street.
Yeah, the first view is perfect, but it's very cinematic of an opening crawl, like the coming in from the opening crawl.
Yeah.
And,
It'll be very cool.
But Millennium Falcon.
Yeah, it's going to be
Easy.
hard to beat the Millennium Falcon.
Millennium Falcon.
And apparently there's an amazing photo op for it, too. So you can get a picture with
The
it
Millennium
without...
Falcon?
Mm-hmm. So you can get a picture with the Millennium Falcon without anybody else in your picture, and that's cool.
Do you think she signs
I'm
autographs?
guessing they do something like they did in Pandora, so...
landing gear.
Backing up kind of thing, but we'll see. All right, this weekend also, as we move along to other news, it's not Star Wars, California Adventure Food and Wine Festival began. There's tons of food, there's tons of beverages, there's more entertainment, I feel like, than ever. A perk that we always love is Fat Cat Swingers returned, and they'll be playing throughout the festival. Very quickly, of the menu items you've either seen or tasted, what intrigues you the most over the course of this 54-day...
Food extravaganza is the word.
Food extravaganza.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We'll go with that.
I'm incredibly interested in the ghost pepper mac and cheese. I heard it's not that spicy.
That is worth a video, right? That we all want to see her eat ghost peppers.
I heard it's not that spicy.
Okay.
Spicy.
Spice. Sorry, a little bit of my southern came in when I was talking about the heat on them mac and cheeses.
And how about you?
Truth be told, I have not seen much of the menu. I try not to see too much of it before actually going. I have not gone for food and wine yet. However, my comment on that is I have seen a lot of the folks that worked on either naming or designing the names for the food and beverage.
Really fun, huh?
And they're really excited about the work they've done. And I like when people are that invested.
And was there a name that you liked? We'll go with
Oh,
that.
no. I can't recall one off the top of my head, but...
Veggie, fruit.
That one.
It's so good.
That one is cute. Let's move right along. Disney villains are getting a Disney Plus show. Really quickly, what do we think about this?
The book series that it is based on seem to have done very well. Mm-hmm. I have not read them myself, but they seem to follow the Maleficent, maybe not so bad person after all. Yeah. I'm all for more villains getting highlighted because they're the more interesting characters. I hope they don't run them into the ground.
As I say, I just don't need a justification of, like, they're actually a good guy. Like, I just want to see them living their lives. Like, I don't need it to be like, oh, I had this really tragic backstory and that's why I killed your baby. Like, no, just like, be a villain, man.
If you killed the baby, you're a bad person anyway.
Yeah, that's kind of how it works.
We were talking beforehand, Beauty and the Beast. I'm gonna
throw
a little gas on the fire here. Cameron, would you like to talk about Beauty and the Beast and Beast being in this Disney Plus show?
Beast is no one is confirmed for the Disney Plus streaming service show.
But in theory, from the books.
From the book, it's based on villains such as, like Ursula and the Beast, who is not a villain.
Cameron, go ahead.
No.
Who's the villain of Frozen?
Olaf.
Olaf is the true villain of Frozen, but that's not what we're here. That's disambiguation. The real villain of Frozen is Elsa, the most popular character of the movie. Just because she's able to do good things, or because she has better motivations for the things she does not make her a good person necessarily. She killed many people. They don't talk about that on there, but in Frozen, she completely changes the ecosystem and the crop harvest schedule for her entire people. Thousands probably died.
Don't forget the animals.
Yeah, so... she's the bad person of that film. What I'm saying is, putting that same thing on Beauty and the Beast, Beast steals with the intention of killing an old man.
Split up families.
Split up a family, is willing to completely trade threw an old woman out in the night, completely enslaved his entire working staff vicariously because of his own actions.
If you're going by the live action version, he also, because of his actions... his staff's families got split up also.
But let's talk about the true evil of it.
And forgot about each other.
That one show that that you really enjoy that's about presidents?
Yes, West Wing.
West Wing. So in his West Wing, there are many pieces of...
tracking tonight with our puns. Keep going.
In his West Wing, there are many destroyed, broken things all over. It's dark and moody and all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. There is no non-live furniture in his house. That means the West Wing is full of corpses. Beast is a villain.
No!
Too loud. Your turn.
So Frozen, let me start there. Frozen is not an external conflict. Frozen is an internal conflict. Yes, the villain is Elsa, but it's not Elsa against other people, especially because a very important thing about
the guy that tries to kill her.
Storytelling, can you stop for 2 seconds? A very important thing about storytelling is from whose point of view are we seeing it? So the way that it is framed, it is a story where we are on Elsa's side and the villain is what's going on inside Elsa's mind.
Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast, he's not... Because you're framing it, I know why you're framing it. It's because you're like, oh, Gaston's a hero. Gaston's trying to say, no, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear any of that right now. No. I'm so sorry. I've gotten very frustrated. My thoughts have gotten away from me. But what it comes down to, and I don't know. Don't throw it back to him again. We're going to stop this right now. No.
Speaker, 30-second rebuttal.
Finish your thought.
No.
Finish your thought, then he gets a rebuttal.
What? No.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
I'm not either. In fact, my rebuttal is this. By your logic, you don't think I should bring Gaston in the argument. I won't. And you don't think it, or you think it is because of perspective. Yes, you think it is because perspective that the good guys and bad guys can be taken. I agree with you. The perspective of this film is from Belle. We see a villain imposing Stockholm Syndrome and it being played out in film from a first-person perspective of Belle of what a Stockholm Syndrome sufferer experiences. He's still a bad guy.
He's a bad guy. I don't think that he's...
All right, well, let us know what you think in the comments below or on Twitter with the hashtag Geeks Corner. And this debate will continue as we find out if the show is actually happening. And we don't even know if this is included. I mean,
it comes back to, what are you talking about? Beast isn't in it.
Or for all we know, they're going to make a movie that's just entitled Beast, and it'll be the Maleficent version of Beast.
It's actually a workout program.
Final topic tonight. On Sunday, 4 F-15 jet flew over the Disneyland resort ahead of Captain Marvel's release 2 days, I guess, from now. Mm-hmm. And they had a bunch of female pilots there and really some historical figures. And Kay Slack and Katie did a really awesome article on the people that were there and the significance of the day and some of the highlights. So as we wrap up, we got a couple minutes. Talk about some of the, I almost want to say precious moments that they really were that happened as we were sitting there waiting for and after this flyover. Because the flyover really was just this much of what happened.
It's very true. I think... something that was very cool from where we were standing is that we were around where all of the military and family got to be. So for the flyover, there was a lot of cool photo ops. There's a picture of everybody that's involved and the jets are flying over, and it's very cool. But there was, what is most important to me is there was lots of very small girls in Captain Marvel things that were very clearly excited. It wasn't just like I don't know what's going on, I'm in Captain Marvel stuff. They were very clearly excited. They were running around. And after the jets flew over, they took down the ropes and you could come talk to the airmen and all this stuff. And there was little girls in full Captain Marvel that got to talk to these female pilots. And it was real. And it was like, I don't want to pull the, oh, little girls don't get heroes. Little girls don't get to see superheroes that are them. And so the fact that they get to see Carol Danvers in a film and she is them and she's a little girl in the movie and she grows up and she gets to be awesome. Like the fact that they got to meet real people and they got to see that they can do those things. It's what Captain Marvel's about. And that was really awesome. So, yeah.
Well, and some of the people there, I think, was also really awesome.
Yes.
So we had, I think it would have been Jeannie Leavitt, who's a brigadier general, and she was the first ever fighter pilot. Female fighter pilot in 1993. She ended up being the first female to command a combat fighter wing in the United States Air Force. And I believe she works at the Pentagon or something now, without looking at all the notes. But you have her there. You have Lieutenant General Jackie von Ovost, Kristen Goodwin. And these were just people that we were researching as K-Slack's really fancy lens could see their names their name badges on their uniforms. And it was really fun to watch, yes, the little girls geek out, but also watch everybody else geek out as they realize what important people were there. And I think it was actually, the fun kind of continued for me the next day because I was at the studios for an event, and you could see them walking around doing more press stuff. And it really is fun to see this part of history that kind of has been overlooked quite a bit come to life, not just on the silver screen, but the real heroes that inspired the silver screen, getting their due recognition by both Disney and then all of these fans that are getting to live vicariously kind of through the movie and be inspired by it. And I think a lot of us as kids had, famous fighter pilots, or, it was Top Gun. I think most little boys thought was the coolest thing ever in the 90s. Would you agree with this, Cameron?
Oh, yes.
Okay. And
Danger Zone.
now that's opening up this whole universe to more people, and I think that's going to be really cool.
Yes.
You have anything you want to add to this real quick?
The purpose of mythos, generally in a culture, is to demonstrate where you prescribe value. So the stories we tell are the things we feel are most important. If we are choosing to intentionally tell stories of things and people that we feel should be honored more, it shows a cultural shift, and I appreciate it and look forward to what this means.
And it's going to be a great movie. All right, well, that's all the time we have for you this week.
You should go to thegeekscorner.com. That's thegeekscorner.com. We like talking. We do it there.
You should go to dapsmagic.com, check out all the Disney and geek news as it happens, see us talk in writing form, find our Patreon, subscribe to our mailing list.
And make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel so you catch all of the videos that are going up, like the one we did on Sunday, where you could have watched live as the fighter planes flew over Disney California Adventure, which really was a cool experience. That will end up on something somewhere, I'm sure. But that's all the time we have for you this week, so we will see you around the corner.